Why do people blame Hillary Clinton for Gaddafi's death? It's been over 10 years since Gaddafi's regime came, and instead of elevating, Libya has spiraled down a rabbit hole filled with slavery, violence, and stagnation. And all this can be traced back to one person. In today's video, we'll be revealing some secrets as to why people blame HRC for the destruction of Libya. So sit down and let's get into it. Like, share, and subscribe.
What is very clear is that Gaddafi has lost his legitimacy to govern and the confidence of his people, and that is the main reason why he should leave power.
Hillary Clinton was hell-bent on the U.S. taking military action in Libya. In fact, President Obama was very skeptical about United States involvement. His security advisors strongly warned him against it. Why, you may ask? It was because in 2003, President George Bush was able to strike a deal with Gaddafi. Gaddafi would stop making WMDs, and in exchange, the United States would leave Libya in peace and Gaddafi's regime. Unfortunately, this deal was not honored, and it was HRC that pushed the deal forward. Obama's defense secretary, Robert M. Gates, said it was Clinton's support that put Obama over the line, 49-51.
Fox News Sunday, what his biggest mistake in office has been, U.S. President Barack Obama said this.
Probably failing to plan for the day after what I think was the right thing to do in intervening in Libya.
Morning to you. The Clinton campaign calls this a crime reminiscent of Watergate, but worse. More than 1,900 emails released just this weekend. We are talking about a slow leak every day, a new batch. And the Clinton campaign knows this could be a problem for them every day until Election Day.
During her presidential elections of 2016, Hillary Clinton's emails were leaked. Why were they leaked? Because she chose to use a regular email server instead of a secured one by the State Department. Now, did she have something to hide? We would never know. This confidential email sent from Jake Sullivan to Hillary Clinton recorded a phone interaction between Tony Blair, the Prime Minister of the UK at the time, and Muammarr Gaddafi. So, Mr. Gaddafi, the violence has to end. We can't take it anymore, and we want you to step down. Is that possible? I know we're friends. It's time for you to step down. Oh, I assure you, Mr. Blair, there's nothing going on in my streets. There's all peace in Libya. I assure you, there's peace in Libya. No, President Gaddafi, we need peace in Libya. Like, you have to step down now. President Blair, Prime Minister Blair, listen. Come to Libya. You want me to get my jet to come to get you? Come to Libya right now. Come right now. There is peace. Listen, there is peace. I want peace with you. I want us to coexist, Mr. Blair. I'm ready to cooperate. I don't know if I could do that, Mr. Gaddafi, but the most important thing is we need peace. Okay, yeah, nice talking to you, man. We'll talk another time. I've got a meeting to go to. Gaddafi on several occasions tried to find a peaceful resolution. But of course, NATO and Hillary Clinton were hell-bent on metaphorically stepping on his neck in order to silence him. Why, you might ask? Well, that's coming up next. In another email sent from Sidney Blumenthal to Hillary Clinton, we saw that the French were actually funding rebels who were attacking people in Libya and posing a threat to Gaddafi. In fact, this man, General Younis Abdel Fattah, the leader of the rebel, had exclusive contact with French intelligence agencies. Further went on to detail that Gaddafi's financial resources were depleting because the French had frozen Gaddafi's foreign accounts. And then went further into detailing the fact that Gaddafi's government owned 143 tons of gold and silver, which were all worth about $7 billion. The email said, quote, "This gold was accumulated prior to the current rebellion and was intended to be used to establish Pan-African currency based on the Libyan golden dinar. This plan was designed to provide the Francophone African countries with an alternative to the French franc, CFA. Finally, the email detailed Sarkozy's motivation in attacking Libya. In the list consists of 5 things. Firstly, a desire to gain a greater share of Libya's oil resources, and increase French influence in North Africa, improve his internal political situation in France, provide the French military with an opportunity to reassert its position in the world, and finally, address the concerns of his advisors over Gaddafi's long-term plans to supplant France as the dominant power in Francophone Africa. And Hillary Clinton was still on board knowing all of this.
Hillary Clinton has arrived in Tripoli for a one-day visit to cement relations with the new leaders of Libya. The Secretary of State met with senior figures from the National Transitional Council, including the de facto president Mustafa Abdul Jalil.
After Gaddafi was gone, Hillary Clinton made a celebratory trip to Libya in order to co-sign a new puppet government. A couple months after her return from Libya, HRC got an email updating her about what was happening in Libya. The email, sent from Sidney Blumenthal, read, "During the afternoon of September 11, 2012, new interim president of Libya, Mohammed Yusuf El Maraj, spoke in private with senior advisors, including members of the Libyan Muslim Brotherhood, to discuss the attack by demonstrators on the U.S. mission in Tripoli and Benghazi. According to sensitive source, El Maraj was shaken by the attacks and gave permission to commanders on the grounds for security forces to open fire over the heads in an effort to break up mobs." So basically, HRC knew about the critical situation in Libya, and when asked about it in her presidential debate of 2016, she said,
"Oh, we did join with our European and Arab partners. He was overthrown. And let's also remember that the Libyan people have voted twice in free and fair elections for moderate leaders trying to get themselves to a better future. Now, what has happened is deeply regrettable. There have been forces coming from the outside, internal squabbles that have led to the instability that has given terrorist groups, including ISIS, a foothold in some parts of Libya."
This is arguably the Achilles heel to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. It was the nail to the coffin for whatever hope she had to become the leader of the free world. On September 11, 2012, there was an attack on the American diplomatic complex in Benghazi, which left Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens and 3 other Americans deceased. And this served as a hammer against HRC. The controversial aspect of these attacks were that the ambassador, who lost his life prior to losing his life, had requested for security reinforcements to the state, but nothing was done about that. Apparently, they wanted to be covert and low security in the area, being Benghazi. Knowing that Benghazi was very volatile, the United States government and Hillary Clinton, the boss to all diplomats in the United States at the time, ignored those requests. Not only did she ignore those requests, the weapons that she had supplied to the rebels back then were now backfiring, because it was those same rebels, those same extremist rebels, that attacked Ambassador J. Christopher Stevens, RIP. A hearing was held in the Senate where Hillary Clinton was greatly scrutinized and questioned about this event, and this is what she said.
All due respect, the fact is we had 4 dead Americans. Was it because of a protest, or was it because of guys out for a walk one night who decided they'd go some Americans? What difference at this point does it make?
Even Donald Trump, during the presidential elections of 2016, pressed her about it, and this is what she said.
In Libya, which was another one of her disasters.
Secretary Clinton.
Well, I hope the fact checkers are turning up the volume and really working hard. Donald supported the invasion of Iraq.
Wrong.
That is absolutely
wrong.
Proved over and over again.
Wrong.
He actually advocated for the actions we took in Libya and urged that Gaddafi be taken out after actually doing some business with him one time.
I hope this video has been able to educate you on how Hillary Clinton moved in Libya. Now, I have sources, and my sources will be in the description, and the documents in my Discord link in the description box as well. Give me feedback about my content. I put a lot of work into this, and I want to keep making more content like this. If you haven't subscribed, like, share, and subscribe, because we'll be coming back with another video. So with that being said, stay woke.